what we're going to do next is we're going to listen to the story. As we're listening to the story, you have a job. I'm going to be pausing the story 4 times. How many times am I going to be pausing the story?
4.
4. Every time I pause the story, I want you to think about it like it's a scene in a movie, okay? I'm going to pause the story and thinking about if you were watching this movie, this story, you're going to write down what characters are in this scene, what setting, where is this scene taking place, and what events are happening in that scene. Okay, so it's a little different. We're not going to track the whole story of all the characters in the story. We're going to specifically be looking at 4 parts of the story, okay? So as we're looking at these 4 scenes, we're looking at what realistic characters are in the scene, what realistic setting the scene is taking place in, and what realistic events are happening, okay? Do we have any questions before we begin the story? All right, let's go.
Sana screams, I want to go too.
Okay, this is our first scene that we're going to pause the story on. So let's go over to your chart. And on your chart, I'm going to zoom in here so we can see it a little bit better. In this scene, we have 3 characters. Would you turn and tell your partner who those 3 characters are? So there are 3 characters. It's a little tricky. Raise your hand if you know one of those 3 characters. All right, Maxwell.
There's Ani.
Okay. And another character, Oliver?
There is Friends.
Say it again.
There is Friends.
Is friends. Tell me more.
It shows their friends.
Oh, that she's thinking about. So she's thinking about her friends at the party. Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think of that one. That's one I didn't even think about. So the friends in her little thought bubble, right? Okay. Other characters in this scene. Beckham?
The baby.
The baby. What, do we have an idea of what the baby's name is?
Yeah, at the end it tells us, but we forgot.
Okay, so we know, we can see these in the illustration. What I'm going to do is as I'm typing these in, you're going to add them to your chart. So we have Ami, but these 2, the friends at the party and the baby, those are characters that we can see in the illustration, right? But they're not in the text. They're not in the story yet. So if we're thinking about just the text, what characters are in just the text on page 12? Olivia. Yeah, very good. Sana. Okay, so we have Ami, we have Sana, and there's one other character in the text on page 12. Any ideas? Any ideas? Yes.
Rubina.
Rubina, how did you know her name was Rubina?
My partner told me.
Your partner told you, so your partner must have remembered, right? So this is a little tricky because in the first part of the story, we don't know the main character's name. She says, I am so excited, right? She says, I, her first person, she's telling the story, she's the narrator, but we don't know what her name is. So unless you've already read the story, you might have just put I, right? Or the main character. But we know that her name is Rubina if we read the story before.